What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. One of the most loaded words that show up in our regular speech is the word deserve. What do we mean when we say deserve? Like most words of English, there's a whole lot of duality to how the words are used, how it can actually be used in a positive sense, and how it can almost be the most negative thing if it's in the wrong context. The word deserve is like seasoning in a dish. Too much of it, and it throws off the entire sauce, and not enough of it, and your whole experience is bland. Let's talk about the positive first. The word deserve is most positively related to affirming of self-worth. A lot of times, we are down on ourselves, or even if we are up, we have internal limiters set that become our comfort zones. I have friends who are millionaires but are happy and coasting now because they reached their comfort zone of how much they feel they need to have in the bank. And for someone else, they reach their comfort zones at lower levels. For some, a six-figure salary is more than enough to stay in their jobs for decades. This is their self-worth in action. One is not better or worse. It's just an internally set temperature. There's people who earn millions and still never let their foot off the gas because they're after something else and the money is just a byproduct, and their temperature is set to a different degree or tied to a different metric of success, missionary versus mercenary. The mission drives them. Again, on a daily basis, how much output each person has is set by what is an acceptable level of effort for them. Some are satisfied with meager effort. Some are okay with maintenance levels of effort, and some are always trying to push themselves in all areas. All of this is a very personal decision inside of you. All of this is an equation of self-worth. What do I feel like I deserve? What do I think of myself? And have I done enough work to create the circumstance where that matches what I think of myself? And the delta in what you think of yourself and what reality you've created is the do or action gap. Very rarely does someone create more for themselves than what they think they deserve. If they do create something more for themselves than what they think they deserve, they might sabotage it and go right back down to what they think they deserve. And for much of us, if not mission-driven, our initial motivation to do anything in life just comes from this internal ego, this level of who we think we are and what we identify with, that then becomes the steam for us to go out there and do all we can to narrow this gap if reality doesn't match what we think we are. So on the positive side, when you go and get what you feel you deserve through your actions, it is your self-worth working for you. It's the positive effect of it in action. But as soon as that self-worth and followed up action ratio is thrown off, and you still believe you deserve something that you are not doing or willing to do, now you get into the dangers of the word deserve. So when you feel like you deserve something, and you do the actions, that is self-worth, and your self-worth being reinforced with evidence and your effort of willingness to go after what you think you deserve. But as soon as you feel you deserve more than what you are willing to go do or go get, now your self-worth is unreasonably inflated and you're in the arena of entitlement. This is where the word deserve can make you try and take credit for unearned status or worth by either lying or cheating or by foolishly trying to borrow the status of someone around you, like your group or your company or your parents' accomplishments. The through line to all of this is that you are only what you do. You are also that which does, so don't mistake me saying that your being is by any means diminished or enhanced by anything that you do. This is a do show as much as a be show. It's a constant tension between being and becoming. So if me saying that you are only what you do bothers the spiritual side of you, let's clarify that the being part of you is a full and whole thing by itself. It doesn't need to be anything. It already is. and it doesn't live in the notions of deserve, self-worth, or any worldly act that might enhance it. From the perspective of being, you are already perfect. You are already successful. You are already everything that you need. That part of you supersedes the human realm where the problems with the word deserve show up. The doing is playing a worldly game. And usually once we exhaust the worldly games, do we transcend to the solace of the spirit. But unless you have any other way of surviving that doesn't require living in the real world, you will encounter this inner dialogue of what you think you deserve. And my goal here is to provide navigation to that inner deserving by anchoring it to the realistic assessment of your doing, your actions. Anything under or over that, and you are out of alignment. We all look at people who achieve a great deal and want to attribute that to their resources, the money, the talent, the access, the privilege that they have, when in reality, it's processes and priorities that make the difference. It's what you do with those resources. It's the creative approach you have given your constraints. And it's what you choose to work on and spend your energy on that determines what ends up of you. The recipe for unhappiness is anytime we fight reality or impose an expectation on our environment that is not what we are living in and not doing the work to actively change. Happiness is a compass. Any deviation from that, like depression or misery or sadness, is provided feedback that you are not heading in the direction that you know you should be. That is the gap. And the beautiful part is, happiness isn't just on the other side of that gap. It's on the way as soon as you start to head on the road to narrow it. But until then, until you decide to take an active part, you get what you deserve. And take that as you may. You are what you do. You deserve only that which you work for. Love you, family. Stay true always. See you on the next show.